and you broke your sound.
Welcome back, racing fans. This is episode 2 on Vandy Podcast. I'm Coltrane, also known as Choo Choo.
And I'm Camden, now known as the Commander.
This episode is brought to you by Forward Bite,
the new racing apparel every racer wants. Go check it out at forwardbiteco.com.
Yep, forwardbiteco.com. Today, in this episode, we will be with Chris from Chckrd and Tim Nash from old No.7 Garage.
So how are you with your micro in the Tulsa shootout?
We've worked on the car a little bit here and there, but we still have some work to do to get it Tulsa shoot bound, like ready. And this shootout will be on Flow Racing if you want to go check that out if you want to watch my heat race or my feature or whatever. And my stickers, we are actually going to put those on, the new stickers, on Monday or Tuesday. We don't know yet. And we only have we only have one or two sets of tires. I don't know, because all the other tires aren't good anymore. So yeah, we still got some work to do, but we're almost there.
Yeah, so what driver do you want on Vandy Podcast?
I just want all the drivers that interact with racing and that do stuff for racing, and I don't know, they just race or something.
Yeah, we're almost at 300 followers, and thank you everyone who was here from when we first started like a week ago. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us through that rough first episode. It was our first time, but we're fine. It was still good.
I want to try getting a Hunt the Front crew on here and big drivers that everyone knows.
Yeah, not just people that Nebraska knows, like everyone knows.
Yeah.
So, Camden, I heard you're trying to find a job, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to stick away from fast food, go towards more hands-on stuff that's not food, with cars and stuff, but that'll be hard since I'm going with 14.
Yeah. So we will go ahead and start our first part of the episode with Chris from Chckrd, and we will see you there. I'm Coltrane, also known as Choo Choo.
And I'm Camden, now known as the Commander.
Commander, huh?
Yeah. Either Commander or Cupcake.
Today we are with Chris from Chckrd. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Really psyched to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chris.
Let's talk about the app Chckrd. How did it all get started?
Yeah, so way back in the 90s, my best friend built a dirt street stock, and he used to run at Orange County in New York. And I would help him here and there, and that's really where I got my feet wet with racing and exposed to it. And he had to sell the car when the kids came and things like that. But his wife worked for TNN, which at that time handled all the NASCAR races. So we would go to Dover and Pocono and things like that in the Northeast through a pretty sweet hookup with her. Then he moved down to Charlotte and worked at NASCAR. He did a couple of driving experiences too, Dale Jarrett used to do one with Brett Favre. So he used to travel around the country and teach, not teach, but give people, hot laps and let them drive and stuff. And then, so that's really how I got connected to racing. But I've always been in kind of a customer facing role with technology and things. And so back in like 2013 on Facebook, I saw a lot of tracks that were getting washed out, early in the season. And I grew up in a family business, and I said, wow, that's a family business there that's not going to make their nut this year. I wish I could help them. Well, at that time, GoFundMe had started to become a thing, and Indiegogo and things. And so I said, maybe if we were to take that idea and adapt it to racing, it might work. So I went around, talked to a bunch of my racing friends and people I knew that were still in racing. And there turned out to be like, I don't know, racers were kind of reluctant to use GoFundMe and things. And, listen, there's a place in the world for those platforms. I think they're fantastic and they do amazing things for a lot of people. But racers were slow to adopt it because it felt like charity to them. And, I said, well, what if I built it and we called it something different and made it specifically for racing? So I got together with some really smart friends here in town, and we built a company called Pit Fund, which was GoFundMe for racing. And, we put a lot into it, raised a little money, and got it going. And a lot of people signed up, right? And they were all signing on and asking for money and things like that. But then I guess they asked, they thought the racing fairies were just going to drop money into their bank account. So they didn't really put the legwork into their campaigns like you need to be successful there. Now, a lot of racers and tracks and things did, use it and it worked because they put the work into it. But I just felt like it was kind of stagnating. And I said, well, let's slow down the marketing burn on Pit Fund and maybe pivot to this new idea I had, which was Chckrd. And Chckrd is, social media, but just for racing. So it looks and acts a lot like Instagram, but it has some Facebook features, but we have some other cool features that we'll talk about later, but without the noise that comes with it. So no politics, no, cat videos and no COVID debates and all this. It's just racing, and people find it to be kind of like an escape, from the day-to-day social part of it. And underlying that, we're recoding Pit Fund back into it because I really think that having a platform just for racing will help people that need, or could use some extra fuel to fuel their passion of racing. I think the clear-cut message within Chckrd will allow Pit Fund campaigns to be more successful. So that was a long-winded answer to your question, but I hope that kind of made sense of how I got here.
Yeah, that was a nice answer. Well,
yeah, so me, Cole, and Mark have all been all looked. Mark told me and Cole about this app named Chckrd, and then we all downloaded, and I thought it was really cool how it was just about racing and stuff. So who was all there when it first started?
It's a good question, and believe me, the early people I will always hold dear in my heart. You guys specifically, Mark has been fantastic in our relationship with Forward Bite. Is something that I really cherish and value because we kind of started near around the same time, and our numbers are starting to run, and it looks like he's doing pretty well. And watching you guys progress, and Cole's new helmet was pretty cool. But there's so you guys and Forward Bite were there. One of my first subscribers was this guy Victor Santiago Jr. He's out of Pennsylvania, and you guys, his handle on Chckrd, him as Autism Racing Fan. He jumped on early, and he's been on there and posting and things, and he's just a sweetheart of a guy. And I actually did a video interview with him yesterday because we're starting to do on Chckrd, get to know the member. And we did one with Brandy Tulu, the quad racer out of North Dakota. And, so I did one with Victor yesterday, and we're editing that for next week. But, and some of the early people too were like Rico Abreu. He came on, and Brock Zierfoss and some big guys that happened through a relationship with this guy Tyler Altmaier. And what we hear from big name racers and sponsored racers is that because Chckrd is just racing and doesn't bring the noise of the other social platforms, that their message gets across better to their sponsors' fans, like the people that their sponsors are trying to connect their message to. They find really good traction through Chckrd, and so has the few brands that we've got on board now, but which is growing every day. Our community seems to be very loyal to the people who support Chckrd. So I'm really happy with where it is now and where it's going, because it really feels like a community. And what really excites me is when I see people that I know probably met through Chckrd connecting and doing things together. Like, for instance, we have Karen Jankowski. She's a rally driver out in Oregon. She's doing podcasts with guys in upstate New York. She did one with the Chicken Bone fellas down south in Georgia. And what we hear from people like that is like, it's really cool to kind of learn about different types of racing through this app and this community. And I love it. And one thing I'm psyched about, I'm not sure it'll last for how much longer, but we've got coming up on 2,000 members as we record this in mid-December 20. And we've had thousands and thousands and thousands of posts across all different groups, from karting to sprint car to asphalt and all that. But I'm really happy to say, and I'm going to knock on wood, because we haven't had to kind of move people back into lane where, we haven't had one political post, no COVID posts, no, anything that we don't really want on the platform. That hasn't happened. People have really just adopted the idea that this is where I go for my racing social. It's a lot like, LinkedIn is for professional business people, right? You only do your business stuff on LinkedIn. Yeah. Well, Chckrd is that for racing. So.
Yeah, I think of Chckrd as like the Facebook, but for racing. That's most because it's kind of like Facebook, but like you said, it has different features than Facebook, and it's just for racing. Can you tell us about those other features?
Sure. One thing we're really proud of is we think we're doing social as social is meant to be, where you bring like-minded people together to talk about what their interests are. But then we're not working with an algorithm to decide what you see and what you don't see. And we're not linking up to ad farm servers and things like that, because I know people are uneasy with that. We don't do anything with your data at all. And we want to respect that part of it. I think that differentiates us. People can trust us that, their data is their data, and we're not going to manipulate them like the big platforms are so good at. So that's really cool. That's one aspect of it. But, it's a free service. Anyone can download Chckrd in the app stores. But for, $2.99 a month, we have a premium membership. And with that, some of the benefits come along with Sponsor Connect, right? Where we've got a team that's beating the bushes every day to go out and find brands that sponsor motorsports, find the URL, and then put it in the app. So, it's not rocket science, but it's legwork that you don't have to do. So if you're on Chckrd, you can go into Sponsor Connect as a premium member, and there's over 50 brands in there now that you can connect to their website at the touch of your finger, which is awesome. And we're growing that every day too. Secondly, there's a way to save on products. If you're premium, there's discounts within the app that, stuff you have to buy for racing or want for racing anyway. If you were to be a premium member, you can save, for instance, if you bought one set of tires and had a 10% discount or 20% discount, well, that savings right there is going to pay for your premium membership on Chckrd for years to come, right? So that's pretty cool. I know in Forward Bite, we have them in there in the apparel and the t-shirt world, but we have some, motocross handlebars company. We've got Scrub Blades, which is a performance windshield wipers, and I might say this wrong, but Mealy Design, which they are custom battery harness makers and things. So stuff that you're going to have to need or want in racing, you can save money on through discounts as a premium member. Another part is Chckrd TV, where we're putting together some programs on sponsorship, on the business of racing, psychology of racing, physiology of racing. That's coming out of Australia within the next week or two. We're developing a animated series called Marbles, which is kind of going to be, I don't know, it's shaping up to be somewhere between King of the Hill and The Simpsons, but all about racing, which is going to be funny. We're trying to crowdsource storylines from racers out there to kind of drive the main storyline of the series. So Chckrd TV is something that's going to be really cool. It is cool. It's going to become cooler as we go along. Another thing that's really, really cool that I just noticed I'm saying cool a lot. I'm going to try to hold off on that. But another thing we really love about it, and we hope takes traction, and it's starting to, is the ability to micro sponsor somebody. And we've done a video to kind of explain that on the app and such. But here's how it works. You are a premium subscriber, right? So $2.99 a month. Let's say you are, you have a couple hundred to a couple thousand followers on Facebook and Instagram. Well, if you were to get those people to join Chckrd, right, go premium themselves for $2.99, and in their profile, they micro sponsor you as a racer or a podcast or a track or what have you, then we've got the back end to do the accounting on it. You'll start getting $1 per micro sponsor per month. So we think that's really cool. And some racers have already started to do it. But once that catches hold, that's going to be great because, there's a lot of fans in the stands, or, you guys, family members or what have you, that want to feel like they're part of your team, rather than just saying, hey, great job or thumbs up on Chckrd. Put your money where your mouth is and help me fuel my passion to go and get to the track every week. And it's only, $3 a month. So that's great. And that's one thing that goes to the core of my heart with Pit Fund and Chckrd now. I really am trying to, my goal is to help the racing community through technology. And so far, so good. So the micro sponsor thing is so cool. And then once you get I said cool again. And then you bring in Pit Fund again under there. People are really going to have the ability through our app to not only connect to the racing world, but, help them race. That's the goal, because that's the thing that drove us with Pit Fund, is that we would hear people in the pit saying, I lose to that guy because I buy his used tires. He's got cash, and this carburetor was supposed to be my rent this month. So I understand the financial part of racing and how important that is. That's why I try to do some shows on Chckrd about, sponsorship and how to make yourself more attractive to brands to partner with. And, what I've always wanted to do and what I will continue to try and do is help the racing community through technology. That's, and there's other features, but I thought I'd pull up for air there.
Yeah, that's one way to grow your business, by sharing with all your friends and telling them to share with their friends, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, so
we're in this off season. We've got a list of just a bunch of tracks that we've already started talking to over this past few months, and the micro sponsorship model for them to build purses, right, is just a no brainer. Like what track do you guys race at?
We race at Tuxedo Park Raceway, Little Sunset, KC Raceway, and I raced at Mini E.
Right. So think about those tracks, and all of them probably have at least 1,000 to a few thousand followers. And if you guys have seen in social media, people always ask that question. If you owned a track, what would you do? Right. And the number one answer is allow fighting on the front stretch. But behind that is, bigger purses, because if you get bigger purses, you're going to get higher car counts. If you get higher car counts, you're going to get more fans. So it's kind of like I call it a trickle up economic kind of model that, more build the purse, cars will come, fans will come, they'll buy more sodas, more hot dogs, more t-shirts, and, more pit passes and things like that. So the ideas are there, guys. It's just, we need to get the word out. And that's why I'm, again, really happy to be on your podcast and help spread the word.
Yeah. So, like, what are your goals for, like, 2021
Sure, great question.
and, like,
So,
your Chckrd app?
My goals for 2021 is, get back to some kind of normal, and start hitting tracks and showing up and, putting a tent up and get some sign-ups, hand out stickers, blah, blah, blah. Just some, normal kind of guerrilla marketing is a goal. We've got, I can't talk about it now, but we have in the back in the Skunk Works here a 2.0 version, an offering that I think is going to change racing in a lot of ways. Again, helping racing through technology, but it's really cool. So we're working on those features. I'll let you guys know when we're ready to talk about it, but that's a big project we're doing. We're raising some money, as we've proven our concept. Probably a goal in Q1 of 21 is to kind of raise some more seed capital to do what we want to do and market more and get this other tech up on its feet. But my overall goal of Chckrd is to, how people on their websites and on their helmets and on the back of their race suits and stuff, they have their Twitter and their Facebook names and all that. I want to start seeing that little, checkerboard C that we have on people's other properties to kind of put us in that same classification. I don't know if you guys saw that post that we put up a lot of times where, I think it says YouTube, it's underneath it says cats, under Instagram it says, selfie, Twitter is POTUS, right? President of the United States. Yeah. Facebook is a circus, and then Chckrd is racing. So it's all those logos with the words underneath it to kind of differentiate the people. Also, LinkedIn's there, and it says business under it to differentiate. Let people know that this is an app, a social app plus, that's just for racing. So that's the goal of 21. It's just to get the brand recognition, keep building the numbers of subscribers, land some advertisers. But again, my nirvana is always to see the community interacting with each other. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. So, Cole, you have any questions?
No, I think he actually covered all of my questions.
All right, so let me turn it around. Let me ask you guys a couple of questions. All right. So tell me about where you want to go with this podcast. Yeah. How are you guys going to, grow the brand? Do you have any kind of marketing plans to get it out there, or do you plan on incorporating video anytime in the future?
Yeah, actually, we're going to do a Facebook Live later tonight, and but like we want to grow into like a business that sells like shirts and stuff, and like grows big, and then like I don't know how to like say it, but
it's
like grow like
you got a good graphics guy. Your logo is cool. I like that. And if you want to, we can, after we record this or in the next week or so, we have the ability to let people go live on Chckrd, like a Facebook Live. We just don't put it out there for everybody. If somebody like you or, maybe the Beer Hill Gang or Chicken Bone Fellas or whatever want to do a live broadcast once a week or whatever, we have the ability to kind of hand the keys over to you and allow you to go live on Chckrd. We're not allowing everyone to have that ability at any time because the bandwidth costs, it would be, through the roof. That's a big money problem to have. But so if you wanted to, do something live on Chckrd, just shoot me an email, tell me a time you want to do it, and we can set it up. We'll help you. Right.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cole, do you want to add anything to this question?
No.
All right, cool. Well, guys, thank you again. I really appreciate it. And the one thing I ask everyone is one more thing before I let you go. My family and the people I work with can gauge my mood by how much interaction is on the platform, and my mood's been getting better every day lately because there's a lot more. But when it slows, or I don't see a lot of movement on it, which is less and less every day, which is cool. But all I ask is just keep posting. Keep posting and interacting. And we're about to gamify Chckrd soon here once we land the sponsor for it, where if you post something and someone likes it, that's a point, and if someone comments on it, that's 2 points. But if you refer somebody to sign up for Chckrd, even the free model, that's 5 points. And so we've built into the back end that we can track that, and we'll start doing top 3, top 5 every week, and then at the end of the competition, there'll be some kind of either money or product giveaway. So that we think that'll help people get in and start kicking it around a little more. But it's a muscle, right? So you just got to get used to going in there and posting and getting your reactions, and it'll grow. It's growing every single day, and I'm really, really psyched about it.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking some time out of your day, telling us a little about Chckrd, and that's
you bet, fellas. Anytime we'll do a follow up in a few months. We'll see where both of us are at. All right, fellas. Give my best to Mark. Tell him I said hey.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. See ya.
Okay, that was Chris from Chckrd, and now
We're here with Tim Nash from old No.7 Garage. He races and modifies down in Missouri.
we are going to cut to the clip with Tim and see you there.
So, Tim, how did you all get started with racing and stuff?
How did we get started with racing? That's a good question. Well, the start happened with my dad. He raced long before I was around, and so obviously I was born into it. So,
yeah,
from ever since I can remember, we were always at the track. So, of course, like father, like son, you want to race. So that's how that all started.
Yeah. So, what was your first thing that you raced?
Well, I got started pretty late in my racing career. I started in 2011, so we actually started out in a B mod.
Oh,
and yeah, not a whole lot's changed since we run the B mod. I mean, a little bit more horsepower in the A mod, but now that's how it all happened.
Your kid, you got your kid outlaw cart. What are they gonna do with that?
So we got a track here in the backyard, and we're gonna take the outlaw cart that I got, and they got another cart, and we're gonna put both the kids in there. We got a 9-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. We're gonna put them in those and get them nice and comfortable with them, and hope to get them out next year at a couple local tracks.
That'll be fun.
So Tim, I saw that you post that you did that giveaway or whatever about that one car. Are you still racing or?
Yeah. So we had 2 cars, so they're both out of the shop and on to new owners, and we're looking to up our racing program and buy a new hot rod. I can't really say what yet, but we're definitely, we got a new car on the way, some new power underneath the hood. It's gonna be a cool deal for 2021.
Yeah. So you raced carts yesterday, right?
Right.
How did that go?
Well, as in old No.7 fashion, bad luck struck. Started out with my buddy Brian that helps us on the car. Couldn't get his cart to run, so between changing carburetors, fuel pumps, engines, we never did get it going. My cart did good, won the heat race, and started pole in the feature. Took lap number 2, and my throttle spring came off and stuck the engine wide open.
Ooh.
So here I am trying to drive it one-handed and throttling it with the other, and I just couldn't make it happen. Meanwhile, Brian's cart, it dies on the on the track, so he and I both pull out and scratching our heads. Well, we figured his problem out and figured mine out. So next time they have him, we'll go again and see what happens.
You didn't have that good of luck.
Yeah.
So, Tim, do you plan to move up to like late models or anything in the future, or what are your plans for the future?
Oh, well, I mean, when my dad quit racing, he was running a late model. So I've always had aspirations to definitely get behind the wheel of a super. Uh, that's a big step.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that it won't ever happen, but you know, if the means are there, yeah, I would definitely. I'd like to get behind the wheel of a super, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
So, like, forward by it, how did you meet Mark?
I think we joined up just between the social media and my YouTube channel, the old No.7 Garage channel. Just kind of crossed paths, and very early on into forward bites. I think the beginning of this year, and just basically started from there. I think I may even have reached out to Mark right whenever I seen a promo video, whenever he was building this thing up. So
Yeah, we started in like around April, I think.
right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did this 2020 COVID season go?
For us, probably the worst season I've ever had as a driver. You know, and we've been running 9 years. Progressively, each year we get better. You know, so a couple of years ago we got us a couple of wins, and that was big for us. Last year, we won several more times. I consider my car to be the car to beat at our local track. Fast forward to this year, of course, we get a late start. Bring a new car onto the crew, and we just have no luck. Of course, we have some engine problems. Have some car handling issues. Begin to think, is the driver the problem here? Well, at the end of the year, we kind of wrapped it up and came back full circle and had some really hard charges. Still never got a feature win all year, which is it's just crazy, blows my mind. But I think the momentum started picking back up at the end of the year. We did some real hard charges from the back to the front in the last race we ran with some good cars. So we got high hopes for 2021, but I'm ready for 2020 to be over, about like anybody else.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you plan on doing this off season?
Well, as you see, we got a couple of carts, both of the kids and I. So they have a few races around local. Of course, the track I was just at yesterday, it's an indoor track, and then we have one up in St. Louis, the Clash of the Coliseum. It's indoor also. I'd like to hit that up a little bit. I'd like to take the kids there, kind of get them used to the atmosphere or what goes on there, and just kind of take it from there. Just kind of keep racing going as much as we can, and then we will receive a new car before race season starts. So once we get that, then that's what we're going to focus on when we get that.
Yeah. So, I have one big question for you. So do you have more fun watching people race or racing?
You need to break that down some more. Who am I watching?
Let's say your kids.
Okay. So your dad will tell you. I mean, I'm sure it rings true for all parents. If I was to watch my kid race versus me race, hands down, watch my kid race. It's a proud dad moment there. So it definitely depends on who it is. Yeah. And that's why, you know, we're setting the kids up to race early. Like I said, I started late in my life, so I want to get them an early start.
Yep.
and I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what unfolds for them in their racing careers, and step back when time comes and let them take the reins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, with Cole moving up to micros, me moving up to like adult, do you have any like tips for us or anything?
I mean, just a general tip is just always try to, you know, just look out far in front of you as you can. Try to see something that happens before it's too late. Keep your nose clean. Make good choices. Always use your head. There's a lot of times, you know, you have a split second to make a decision. You're going to make a wrong decision. So just don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah.
Most important thing, go out there and have fun.
Yeah. All right. Cole, do you have any questions or anything?
No, I think he covered it all.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim.
Hey, man. Proud to be part of it. And need anything else, give me a holler.
Yeah. All right, we will.
Coming on.
Thank
What's
you.
that?
Thanks for coming on.
Oh, no problem. No problem. All right, guys. Well, are you going to get this posted today or tomorrow or what?
Probably
Posted
tonight.
Tonight. Cool. I'll be watching for it.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was episode 2. Thank you, Chris Mueller and Tim Nash, for giving us info on what they have done this season and what they have accomplished. And we will be uploading our 3rd episode next week. And we don't know who we will be talking to yet, but we will update you on that later. And so thank you again for all the followers we have and all sticking with us. So thank you again, and see you next week.